and welcome to this edition of Eye on Sheridan. I'm Kavya Yoganathan.
And I'm Gaston Calzado. Coming up on today's show, the latest on the investigation into deadly terror attacks in Brussels, updates on Toronto's ongoing Black Lives Matter protest, and how Canadians are paying tribute to former Mayor Rob Ford. But first, student union elections are next week, so why doesn't anyone seem to know about them? Neil Rampone is live in the Learning Commons with more. Neil?
Gaston, in 5 days, the Sheridan Student Union will begin taking votes for its 2016 to 2017 Board of Directors representatives. Big positions here on campus that seem to have captured very little interest.
The Sheridan Student Union is responsible for a lot of things here at Sheridan College, but lately, the Board of Director nominations have been foremost, and they're kind of a big deal.
Well, it's a really big deal because these are the people that are going to be representing the student body. I mean, when we have the Board of Directors meetings, they're the ones that are going to be bringing up all the topics. They're the connection that the student body has to the upper levels of the student union.
Since there is only one candidate at Trafalgar campus, we decided we'd ask some students to see who they'd be voting for, or if they even knew the election was happening in the first place. Do you know who you're going to be voting for in the SSU Board of Directors election next week?
No, I don't even know who I can vote for.
No,
And why is that?
because I didn't know there was a Board of Directors election next week.
However, with only one candidate running here at the Trafalgar campus, it raises the question, why don't students care?
What do you think about the fact that there's only one person running?
I hope he's good.
First and foremost, the students here are here to be students. They're here to learn, but their time here is important. And that's what the student union is trying to remind people right now through the elections, is that this place they're going to do all those things can be better. It can always be better.
Voting will be taking place March 28th to 30th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. across all campuses. For more details, you can visit www.thessu.ca so you can get a bit more of a scoop on your candidates and voting locations. For Eye on Sheridan, I'm Neil Rampone.
The federal Liberals kicked off the promotion for their 2016 budget today. While Prime Minister Trudeau remains in Ottawa, his cabinet ministers are spreading across the country to sell the new budget, which was tabled yesterday. Details of Finance Minister Bill Monroe's plan include $120 billion toward infrastructure over 10 years, $8.4 billion towards Indigenous people over 5 years. The student grant budget will be increased by 50% as there will be additional funding towards families with children. There will also be changes to EI and $1.9 billion over 5 years for the arts. Additionally, the government has pledged $675 million to revitalize CBC into the modern era. This budget is going to create a deficit of $29.4 billion over the next year. Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government's initial campaign pledge was to keep the deficit under $10 billion. This plan means Canada won't have a surplus before next election.
The trial for the murder of Tim Bosma continues today. Jurors heard from Robert Bochnek, the roommate of Dylan Millard. 30-year-old Millard and 28-year-old Mark Schmick have pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. In Bochnek's testimony, he said Millard lived in the basement and always kept his door locked, and he only saw him once or twice a month despite the fact that they shared a house. Gian Gomeshi's verdict will be handed down tomorrow. Gomeshi is facing 4 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of overcoming resistance. The former CBC radio host did not testify in his own defense. 3 women testified against him. Trailer Park actress Lucy DeCouture is the only one who can be identified.
Toronto police are searching for a woman who allegedly stole from multiple East End public schools. Investigators say the woman entered empty classrooms during the day, pretending to be a parent touring the school, but instead stealing cash, electronics, and other personal items. The suspect is described as white, 5 feet 2 inches tall, with slim build and long hair in a bun. Investigators are asking anyone with information to get in touch with the police. Following a psychiatric assessment, the trial for a woman accused of stabbing her condo's concierge is being pushed back. Ellis Galea Kirkland, 60, is charged with aggravated assault, assault with a weapon, and weapons dangerous to public peace. Kirkland was arrested after 4.5-hour negotiation with police as she peered over a 27th floor balcony.
Toronto police are looking for Jonathan Ryan. Investigators say the 29-year-old allegedly assaulted a 7-year-old woman. Ryan is also wanted for death threats. The suspect is 5 feet 10 inches tall with tattoos on his hands. No details have been released about the assault. Anybody with information is asked to call the police.
York Regional Police have charged 3 people with arson after a fire erupted in a Markham home last week. Police believe the home may have been used as a cannabis drug lab. The 2 homeowners were charged and had 3 children under the age of 3 in the house when the blaze erupted. The mother and children suffered minor injuries while the fathers were more serious. All were taken to the hospital along with York police officer who suffered smoke inhalation. The third suspect, 27-year-old Jian Jimlin of Markham, was not at the home during the incident.
Black Lives Matter protesters remain at Toronto Police Headquarters. The group called a press conference this morning to respond to new proposed carding regulations, saying they not only fail to eliminate carding, but neglect to address the bulk of concerns raised by the community. Organizers are encouraging more people to support the protest. An updated list of needed food and supplies can be found on the group's Facebook page at Black Lives Matter Toronto Coalition.
For the first time today, Doug Ford released a statement about his brother Rob's death, sharing how much he loves and misses his brother and saying his heart is ripped out. Tributes continue to pour in on social media for former Toronto Mayor Rob Ford. Memorial also continues to grow at Douglas B. Ford Park. Ford was known as a people's politician and a sports enthusiast. Over the years, Ford's personality rubbed many people the wrong way. But after the announcement of his death, politicians across Canada sent tweets and messages to support the Ford family. Prime Minister Trudeau and late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, who invited Ford as a guest during his public scandal, also went to Twitter to send his condolences.
41-year-old Conservative MP Jim Hillier died in his office in Ottawa today. Initial reports suggest that Hillier died of a heart attack. He was a cancer survivor and had a bone marrow transplant in 2003. Hillier leaves behind his wife and 4 children. A book of condolences is now available in the House of Commons.
Continuous delays by Bombardier in delivering Toronto's new streetcars will result in a $34 million bill for the TTC. Bombardier promised at least 55 new streetcars would be operating in Toronto by the end of 2015, but so far only 16 have been delivered. The delays leave the board no choice but to keep older streetcars running. But to do that, the TTC needs to ensure all streetcars are up to proper operating standards. This will include installing new wheels, bearings, and track brakes.
Ontario plans to spend up to $300 million on Teachers Benefit Trust.
Lower the cost of benefit plans through the power of bulk negotiation. It only makes sense. And Mr. Speaker, I actually would have thought this is the kind of efficiency and savings that party would support.
Agree to the new contract, but
the Liberal government plans to spend $175 million to create the trusts and the other $125 to make sure the old plans have the same level of benefits. The government made the deal with 9 teacher unions. 7 Canadians are being awarded with Carnegie medals for heroism. One of them is 28-year-old John W. Galley from Toronto, who is being recognized for rescuing several people from a burning home in Nova Scotia. The Carnegie Medal was inspired by stories of heroism during a coal mine disaster that killed 181 people in Pittsburgh.
If you're heading to the pumps to fill up, you'll pay an extra 3 cents per liter tomorrow. Gas prices are on the rise with an average price of 99 cents per liter expected at most GTA stations by this weekend.
When was the last time you visited the Sheridan Gallery? If you can head there now, you can catch the Interaction Design Program's IXD Futures exhibition. The exhibition showcases cutting-edge work of students here at Trafalgar campus. Crystal David takes us inside for a closer look.
IXD Futures is the first exhibition of student work in the emerging fields of interaction design at Sheridan's Trafalgar campus.
Interaction design, it's really a new emerging discipline that examines technology and how people are using it in their daily lives and how technology can be advanced. For students, it's really good to see their actual work in the context of a show. Projects take on a new life when they're shown in a gallery. It's hard sometimes to explain it to people. It's better to show it to them.
The Interaction Design program develops a big picture perspective with a unique set of skills layering the foundation for interaction design careers and fostering entrepreneurships.
Well, I got into the Bachelor of Interaction Design because I've always been passionate about design. And with this program, with what I'm learning is how to make that interaction a meaningful and pleasant experience for someone. So if you're interacting with your phone or browsing a website, it's not necessarily just being stuck working on a computer or an application. You can build something tangible that can have fun, different interactions with.
The IXD students, staff, and faculty are excited to bring you this dynamic exhibition of student work, but only until April 1st, so make sure you visit the Sheridan Gallery located in the AA Wing. Reporting for Ion Sheridan at Trafalgar campus, I'm Crystal Davine.
It's time now for a quick break.
When we come back, we'll update you what's happening in the international world, including the latest in the U.S. presidential race. Stay tuned.
It was a little loud? Yeah, okay. Do we have a clip coming off the top on this one? Hey Ryan. Hey Rachel, is the clip on the first story, on the Brussels story, still there? Yes. Okay.
Welcome back. The world is mourning and an international manhunt is underway after terror attacks in Belgium that took the lives of 34 people.
The chair would ask all present to rise for the purpose of a moment of silence. The chair asks that the House now observe a moment of silence in memory of the victims of the terrorist attacks in Brussels.
Belgium remains at its highest terror threat level a day after 3 explosions leveled the city. Along with the dead, over 200 others were injured. Ibrahim al-Bakrawi was one of the suicide bombers at the airport. His brother Khalid had been linked to the subway bombing. ISIS has taken responsibility for the attacks. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry will travel to Belgium Friday to discuss the terror threats facing Europe and America. Officials say Chief ISIS bomb maker is still on the run. In the wake of the Brussels tragedy, a symbol of solidarity has emerged. Thousands of social media users are sharing images of Tintin, the iconic comic character created by Belgian cartoonist Georges Remy. A national icon and cultural expert in Belgium, the image of Tintin crying tears colored red, yellow, and black honors the Belgian flag, and it's circulating worldwide. Although some have pointed out racism in the original comic, the people of Belgium say they will remain strong when faced with terror, much like the character of Tintin.
The hearing in Brussels for a suspect in the Paris attacks has been postponed to tomorrow due to heightened security concerns. Salah Abdeslam is also suspected to be involved in yesterday's bomb attacks in the Belgian capital. Police say that the suspect's fingerprints were found in an apartment in a Brussels neighborhood of Forest during a raid-in last week. President Obama expressed sorrow for the victims of the Brussels attack and vowed to fight the Islamic State until it is destroyed at a press conference in Argentina today.
Destroy us, they can't defeat us, they don't produce anything, they're not an existential threat to us.
Visited Argentina for the first time to strengthen ties with South America's third largest economy. Obama also announced during the press conference a decision to declassify documents from U.S. intelligence agencies relating to the dictatorship in Argentina from 1976 to 1983. Russia's foreign minister is accusing the Ukrainian government of ignoring their deal for a ceasefire. Officials say that political elements of the deal are not being met, such as calling for a local election. Russia's foreign minister says Ukraine's inability to meet the guidelines is the main block to peace in that region.
Refugees and immigrants in Idomeni, Greece, are staging protests at the border with Macedonia and islands near the Turkish coast. Thousands have been stranded since the border shut to refugees earlier this month. Hundreds of protesters camped near the border, distributing food, distribution by charities. Protesters also staged a demonstration outside the hotel populated with charity workers. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have achieved important wins in Arizona last night, helping the front runners move closer to the presidential election clash.
The United Nations is not a friend of democracy. It's not a friend to freedom.
The last thing we need, my friends, are leaders who incite more fear.
Despite the victories from their primary competitors, Trump and Clinton maintained their leads in delegate count. Trump insists that he is on the right track to reach 1,237 delegates needed to win the nomination. Clinton has hit out at Republican candidates who she said were inciting bigotry and violence. The political feud between Donald Trump and Ted Cruz just got a little more personal. After the unofficial anti-Trump ad was posted using a racy photo of the real estate mogul's wife, Melania Trump, took to Twitter but deleted what Cruz called a threatening tweet just moments after. Cruz denies the use of the image and fired back at Trump.
Former Republican leadership candidate Jeb Bush is now supporting Ted Cruz. Bush believes that Cruz is the best alternative to Trump's radical ideas. Bush has called Cruz a consistent, principled conservative who has demonstrated the ability to appeal to voters and win primary contests. Cruz is second to Trump in the Republican leadership race with 465 delegates to Trump's 739. Coming up after a break, we'll take a look at the latest in sports.
We'll also take a look at entertainment. Stay tuned.
That time I played music, but I don't know why I didn't play. Hey Ryan, the music's not playing again now.
Welcome back to Eye on Sheridan.
The MLB made a historic return to Cuba. Molly Casey will give us the details. Molly?
Thanks, Gaston. For the first time since 1999, Major League Baseball returned to Cuba. The presidential couple and Jackie Robinson's widow, Rachel Robinson, were just two of the many celebrities that showed up to watch. However, the Tampa Bay Rays played spoiler, getting out an early 3-0 lead thanks to a James Loney 2-run dinger at the top of the fourth. But Cuba would not be shut out as Rudy Reyes hit a solo home run and put them on the board. Rays win 4-1. In other MLB news, the Toronto Blue Jays showed no mercy against the Detroit Tigers yesterday. Tigers scored just 1 run while the Jays climbed their way to 16 runs, 5 of which came in the 5th inning. Pitcher Drew Hutchinson threw 66 pitches, allowing just 1 earned run and walking 2. With 11 games left in spring training, the Jays look to finish strong. The Washington Capitals have officially clinched the first spot in the Eastern Conference, winning against the Senators. 14 minutes into the first, the Capitals were up 3-0. With goals scored by Nicholas Backstrom, Alex Ovechkin, and Mike Richards, the Sens were not shut out as they scored within seconds. With 90 seconds left, they managed to make it 3-2, making things interesting. But Caps winger TJ Oshie scored on an empty net, making the final score 4-2. Thunder point guard Russell Westbrook joined the elite company last night, scoring 21 points, 13 rebounds, and 15 assists. Westbrook had his 15th triple-double of the season in a 111-107 win over the Houston Rockets, which ties Westbrook with Michael Jordan for the most triple-doubles in a season, just behind Magic Johnson and Fat Lever, who have 17 and 16. Kyle Lowry and the Toronto Raptors traveled to TD Gardens tonight to play the Boston Celtics. The Raptors look to extend their win streak to 5 straight games and have won 3 straight games against the Celtics. Boston, who have fallen to 5th place, looks to get back on the track tonight as a loss could drop them down to 6th. Tip-off is at 7:30. The NFL League Committee has set 9 rules that take effect at the beginning of the 2016 season, such as the PAT moving to the 15-yard line. Coaches are now allowed to communicate with the players whether they are on the field or in the coaching box. Chop blocks and horse collar tackles are now illegal. Touchbacks have been moved to the 25-yard line, and 2 personal fouls will now result in an ejection. Body slams, elbow drops, and headlocks capture the audience and attention at Battle Arts Academy pro wrestling events. Ion Sheridan sports reporter Kyle Johnston takes us up and close to personal in Mississauga's only pro wrestling academy.
Whether you're a babyface or a heel, professional wrestlers polish their skills at Battle Arts Academy Professional Wrestling in Mississauga during live events.
It's an all-ages show. You boo, you cheer your favorites. It's like a rock concert. You got loud music, you got pyro, you got lighting. You know, it's like an experience like you can't really find anywhere.
Wrestlers at Battle Arts Academy learn the traditional methods of wrestling, but with a focus on MMA-oriented grappling and striking.
An important element of Battle Arts professional wrestling is the engagement with the audience during live events.
I don't fight for you. You people aren't free.
The audience is everything. We're entertainers. So we are going to, entertain them. And they love being involved and introduced into the characters.
Creative, original characters compete in a variety of matches, from the traditional singles and tag team matches to Royal Rumbles and Battle Arts rules.
That some matches are contested under traditional professional wrestling rules, pinfalls, submissions, etc. Meanwhile, you've got the Battle Arts rules, which are the matches where we're looking for knockouts, we're looking for submissions only.
The heavyweight champ Carew, the light heavyweight champ Buck Gunderson, both representing the compound in action.
The compound and the heavyweight champ Carew will not be stopped.
Reporting for Ion Sheridan, I'm Kyle Johnston.
That's all I have for sports. Let's head over to Taylor for entertainment. What do you got, Tay?
Well, Molly, with festival season right around the corner, fans are getting excited for lineups to be released. Radiohead, J. Cole, and Future are just a few of the many artists that will be performing in Lollapalooza this summer. This year marks the festival's 25th anniversary, and it will have their first 4-day event in history. Lollapalooza takes place July 28th to the 31st in Chicago. Another event people are excited for is the premiere of the very first Batman vs. Superman collaboration. This anticipated movie is in theaters Friday, so let's take a look at what to expect.
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. I love it.
But is the movie going to live up to its expectations? So far, it's received mixed reviews from many media outlets. With all that being said, analysts are still predicting that Dawn of Justice is expected to make around $300 million globally this weekend. And many fans were excited for the premiere of the movie in London, but organizers decided to take a step back due to the attacks in Belgium. Although interviewers on the red carpet were canceled, they continued with the viewing. Warner Bros. Said in a statement that our hearts go out to the victims. And Renee Zellweger confirmed that there is a baby in the third Bridget Jones movie. The new trailer proves that Bridget is still the clumsy and funny character many people loved. But before giving too much away, let's take a look at what to expect.
Dad, I presume. So glad you could be here. This is a unique and wonderful moment.
Dr. Rawlings, I wonder if you could maybe do me a little favour.
So this is Dad, I presume.
So who is the father? Is it Mark Dawsey, or the man who seems to always be in Bridget's life? Or Dempsey's new character? I guess we'll have to wait and see at the premiere in September. To all you Believer fans out there, this one's going to hurt. Justin posted a photo on Instagram announcing that he will no longer be meeting with fans backstage during his current Purpose World Tour. He says although he wants to make people smile and happy, he ends up feeling emotionally drained and mentally exhausted. Fans are not excited about this decision, but meet and greet tickets holders will be able to get a refund. That's all I have for entertainment today. Back to you guys in the studio.
We'll be right back after this short break.
Don't go anywhere. Delisha will tell us what to expect in weather.
I think we're like hella heavy.
Just leave everything on the table.
I already did it, I'm done.
Welcome back to Eye on Sheridan.
It seems like the next few days will get chilly. What can you tell us, Delisha?
Caveat, it is definitely not feeling like spring at all. Right now it is mainly cloudy with a little bit of rain sitting at a high of 4, dropping to a low of -1 this evening. We are expecting freezing rain overnight. The Sheridan Committee is asking students to check for any cancellations tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at this week's forecast. Don't get rid of your winter tires yet. Thursday is going to be a bit slippery. Because of the freezing rain overnight, it will be mainly cloudy with a high of 1 all day. Friday will clear up a bit with a mix of sun and clouds, sitting at a high of 2 with a 40% chance of rain. Temperatures will dip down to a low of -2 in the evening. Bring out your shades. We'll be moving into lots of sunshine for Saturday with a high of 6 dropping to a low of -1 at night. Seems like it's going to get even better for Easter Sunday with warmer temperatures sitting at a high of 11 with a mix of sun and cloud dropping down to a low of 3 with a 30% chance of showers overnight. No sunshine for Monday. It will just be mainly cloudy with rain. Temperatures will be at a high of 6, dropping to a low of 0 in the evening. Hopefully, we'll experience more spring-like weather in the next few weeks. That's it for this week's weather. Back to the studio.
Well, thank you, Delisha. That's all we have for this show. I'm Kavya Yoganathan.
And I'm Gaston Calzado. We'll see you next week here at Eye on Sheridan at 3:30. Take care.